I never thought a single demand could expose 12 years of lies hiding right beneath my nose. I never imagined the man I'd built my entire adult life with could look me straight in the eyes and treat me like hired help in my own home. But that's exactly what happened on a cold Thursday evening in our Chicago apartment while I was reviewing expense reports at the kitchen island after a brutal day at the accounting firm. My husband Tyler walked through the door without his usual greeting. No kiss on my forehead. No asking about my day. He just dropped his briefcase on the counter and delivered his announcement like a CEO addressing an employee. "Rachel, I need you to take next week off work. My cousin Amanda just had her baby and she's going through a rough time. She's moving in with us for a few months so you can help her with the newborn." My fingers froze over my laptop keyboard. The numbers on the spreadsheet blurred as my brain struggled to process what I'd just heard. He wasn't asking. He wasn't discussing. He was informing me of a decision he'd already made without a single thought about my opinion, my career, my life. I've worked at Morrison & Associates for 8 years. I'm up for senior partner this spring. Taking random time off during tax season isn't just inconvenient. It could cost me everything I've worked for. And Tyler knew that. He knew exactly how much this promotion meant to me. "Tyler, we need to talk about this. Tax season starts in 3 weeks. I can't just take time off. And our apartment only has 1 bedroom. Where would she even sleep?" He waved his hand dismissively. "She can have the guest room." "We don't have a guest room. We have a home office that barely fits a desk. Then we'll clear it out. Amanda needs family right now, Rachel. Her husband Derek is being difficult about the baby, and she needs support. You're the only one who can help her. The only one." As if his mother didn't exist. As if Amanda's own mother, who lived 20 minutes away in Oak Park, couldn't help her own daughter with a newborn. Something about the whole situation felt wrong. A nagging feeling I couldn't quite name started forming in my chest. Amanda had always been distant with me at family gatherings, cold, even. She'd give me one-word answers, avoid eye contact, and always seemed to position herself as close to Tyler as possible. I'd chalked it up to her being shy or maybe slightly jealous of our relationship. Tyler and Amanda had grown up together after all. His aunt had adopted him when he was 16 after his parents died in a car accident, making Amanda more like a sister than a cousin to him. But now, replaying those memories while Tyler stood in our kitchen demanding I become his cousin's live-in nanny, those strange moments started connecting in ways I didn't like. "When is she arriving?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. "Sunday afternoon. I'm picking her up from her place tomorrow to help her pack." Tomorrow. He was already going there tomorrow. The speed of everything made my stomach turn. That night, I lay awake for hours while Tyler snored peacefully beside me. My mind kept circling back to the same questions. Why was Amanda running from her husband Derek? I'd met him at several family events. He seemed like a decent guy, quiet, hardworking, ran his own landscaping business. He'd always spoken about Amanda with genuine affection. And why was Tyler so insistent that I specifically be the one to help? His mother was retired. She had nothing but time, yet he'd bypassed her entirely and demanded I sacrifice my career for this. Friday morning, I decided to do something I'd never done before in our marriage. I called in sick to work and stayed home instead of leaving for the office. Tyler left around 9, telling me he'd be at Amanda's most of the day helping her pack. The moment his car disappeared around the corner, I started searching. I wasn't proud of it. 12 years of marriage and I'd never once snooped through his things, but that gnawing feeling in my gut had grown into something I couldn't ignore anymore. I started with his desk in our home office. Tax documents, old receipts, nothing unusual. Then I moved to his nightstand. Reading glasses, a phone charger, some loose change. That's when I noticed his laptop sitting on the dresser. He usually took it to work, but he must have forgotten it in his rush to get to Amanda's. I opened it. The screen lit up, already logged in. His email was open. The first message in his inbox made my heart stop. It was from Amanda. The subject line read, "Last night was everything." My hands trembled as I clicked it open. "Tyler, I can't stop thinking about you. Having you hold me last night while the baby kicked was the most perfect moment of my life. I know this is complicated, but I love you. I've loved you since we were teenagers. And now that our son is almost here, I feel like everything is finally falling into place. Just a few more months of pretending, and then we can be together for real. I love you. Always. A. Our son." The words burned into my retinas. I scrolled down to Tyler's reply. I love you too, baby. I know it's been hard keeping this secret, but Rachel will never suspect anything. She's too trusting, too naive. Once you're living with us, we can be together every day without sneaking around. And our little boy will finally have his father in the same house. Just hang in there. Sunday is almost here. I think I stopped breathing. My husband had been having an affair with his cousin, the woman he was raised alongside as a sister. And the baby she was carrying, the baby I was supposed to help care for, was his. I don't remember getting to the bathroom. I just remember my knees hitting the cold tile floor and emptying my stomach into the toilet. When I could finally stand again, I went back to the laptop with shaking hands. I needed to know everything. How long? How deep did this betrayal go? I scrolled through months of emails. The affair had been going on for over 3 years. 3 years of lies. 3 years of secret meetings disguised as helping Amanda with errands or family stuff. 3 years of him coming home to me, kissing me goodnight, sleeping beside me, while carrying on a full relationship with another woman. Another woman who was technically his sister. I know they weren't blood-related. His aunt had adopted him. There was no genetic connection, but they'd been raised together since he was 16. She was 14 when he came to live with them. For all practical purposes, she was his little sister. The emails painted a disturbing picture. Amanda had pursued him relentlessly. She'd confessed her feelings when she was 19, just a year before Tyler and I started dating. He'd initially rejected her, saying it was wrong, that they were family. But she'd worn him down over the years, sending messages, finding excuses to see him alone, until finally, about 3 years ago, he'd given in. And now there was a baby. A living, breathing result of their affair that I was expected to raise alongside them, completely ignorant of the truth. One email from last month made me physically sick. Derek keeps asking why I don't want to be intimate with him anymore. I told him the pregnancy makes me uncomfortable, but I think he's starting to suspect the baby isn't his. What do we do if he demands a paternity test? Tyler's response: let me handle it. I'll talk to him, man to man. Make him feel like he's being paranoid. You just focus on our baby and getting ready for the move. Rachel has no clue about anything. She actually believes I want her to help you with the baby out of family duty. She's so gullible, it's almost sad. Gullible, naive, trusting. Those were the words my husband used to describe me to his lover, to his cousin, to the mother of his child. The rage that flooded through me was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. It was cold, calculated, and absolutely focused. They thought I was stupid. They thought they could move Amanda into my home, make me care for their affair baby, and I'd never figure it out. They had severely underestimated me. I took screenshots of every email. I forwarded them to my personal account. I photographed the screen with my phone. And then I sat down and started planning. My first call was to Derek. He answered on the 3rd ring, his voice tired. Hello? Derek, it's Rachel, Tyler's wife. We need to talk. Can you meet me somewhere private? There was a pause. Is everything okay? Is Tyler all right? Tyler is fine. But there's something you need to know. Something that affects both of us. We met at a coffee shop downtown, far from our neighborhood where someone might recognize us. Derek looked terrible. Dark circles under his eyes, at least 15 pounds lighter than the last time I'd seen him, his whole body radiating exhaustion. What's going on, Rachel? You sounded urgent on the phone. I took a deep breath. Derek, I found something this morning. On Tyler's laptop. Emails between him and Amanda. His face went pale. What kind of emails? They've been having an affair. For 3 years. And the baby she's carrying, it's not yours. It's Tyler's. I watched this man crumble before my eyes. His hands started shaking. His coffee cup rattled against the saucer. Tears welled up in his eyes and spilled down his cheeks. I knew something was wrong, he whispered. The way she looked at him at family dinners. The way she'd find excuses to call him, to see him. I asked her about it once and she made me feel crazy. She said I was being paranoid, jealous, insecure. I reached across the table and took his hand. You weren't crazy, Derek. You were being gaslighted by 2 very manipulative people. He looked up at me with devastated eyes. What do? We make them pay. Over the next week, Derek and I became an unlikely alliance. While Amanda and Tyler thought they were executing their perfect plan, we were executing ours. The first step was gathering more evidence. Derek remembered that Amanda had been secretive with her phone for months. He managed to get into her iCloud account using the password she'd used for years, never bothering to change it because she assumed he'd never check. What he found there was even worse than the emails. Photos. Hundreds of photos. Tyler and Amanda in hotel rooms. Tyler with his hand on her pregnant belly. Tyler kissing her in locations I recognized, the parking garage of his office building, the back row of the movie theater we went to on date nights, the guest bedroom of his mother's house during Christmas dinner. They'd been doing this right under everyone's noses for years. There were also text messages, thousands of them, pet names, love declarations, plans for their future together. One exchange from 6 months ago haunted me. Tyler, sometimes I feel guilty about Rachel. She doesn't deserve this. Amanda, she's had you for 12 years. It's my turn now. Besides, she'll get over it eventually. She can find someone else. I'm the one who's been waiting for you my whole life. Tyler. You're right. I love you, baby. Only you. Reading those words, something fundamental shifted inside me. The Rachel who had trusted her husband blindly, who had believed in the sanctity of her marriage, who had never even considered snooping through his things, that Rachel died in that moment. The woman who emerged from her ashes was calculating, strategic, and absolutely ruthless. Derek and I spent every evening planning. We needed to coordinate our exits carefully. They couldn't suspect anything until it was too late. Sunday arrived. Tyler picked up Amanda and brought her to our apartment with 2 suitcases and a car seat for the baby she was due to deliver in 6 weeks. I watched them interact with new eyes, seeing everything I'd been blind to before. The way she touched his arm when she thanked him for carrying her bags. The way he looked at her belly with barely concealed pride. The way they communicated in glances and small smiles, a language developed over years of secret intimacy. Rachel, thank you so much for letting me stay, Amanda said, her voice sweet as poison. I know this must be an inconvenience. Family helps family, I replied, my smile perfectly warm, perfectly fake. That's what Tyler always says. Over the next 2 weeks, I played my role flawlessly. I helped Amanda with her meals. I set up the nursery in our converted home office. I listened to her complain about Derek, nodding sympathetically while rage burned in my chest. At night, I heard them. The whispers in the hallway when Tyler thought I was asleep, the footsteps padding to her room, the soft sounds that confirmed they weren't even bothering to wait until I left for work. Each morning, Tyler would kiss me goodbye as if nothing had happened. Each morning, I'd smile and tell him to have a good day. Each morning, I added another item to the list of things I was about to take from him. The plan came together beautifully. First, I went to a lawyer. A shark named Patricia Chen, who specialized in high-asset divorces. I showed her the evidence. She smiled like a predator who'd just spotted wounded prey. In Illinois, adultery can affect the division of marital assets, especially when marital funds were used to facilitate the affair. Did he spend money on her? Trips? Gifts? Anything documented? 3 years of hotel rooms, restaurants, jewelry. I found the credit card statements. Her smile widened. Then let's make sure he regrets every single purchase. Next, Derek and I coordinated our final moves. He'd already moved his money to a separate account. He'd documented the paternity fraud for his own divorce proceedings. He'd even found a small apartment across town, ready to start his new life. The date we chose was significant. Amanda's baby shower. Tyler's mother was hosting it at her house. The whole family would be there. Aunts, uncles, cousins, family friends. Everyone who had watched Tyler and Amanda grow up together would be in one room, celebrating the arrival of a baby they believed belonged to Derek. It was perfect. On the morning of the shower, I woke up early and packed the last of my belongings into boxes I'd been storing at Derek's apartment over the previous week. Everything I valued, everything that was truly mine, was already gone from the apartment Tyler and I had shared. All that remained were the things he'd bought, the furniture we'd picked out together, the life I was leaving behind. I left an envelope on the kitchen counter with his name on it. Then I drove to his mother's house with Amanda, playing my role one final time. The party was in full swing when Derek arrived. Tyler's face showed brief surprise since Amanda had told everyone they were separated. But Derek walked in with a smile, hugged family members, and acted like everything was normal. Until the moment everyone was gathered around Amanda as she opened gifts. Derek stood up. Before Amanda opens the next present, I have an announcement to make. The room went quiet. Amanda's face showed the first flicker of concern. I want to thank everyone for coming to celebrate this baby, my wife's baby. He paused. Or should I say, Tyler's baby? The silence that followed was deafening. Tyler jumped to his feet. Derek, what the hell are you talking about? I stood up too. He's talking about the affair you've been having with your cousin for 3 years, Tyler. He's talking about the baby Amanda is carrying, which DNA will prove isn't Derek's at all. It's yours. Amanda burst into tears. Rachel, I don't know what lies Derek has been telling you, but this is insane. Tyler is my cousin. He's like my brother. A brother you've been sleeping with in hotels all over Chicago. A brother you exchange love emails with. A brother who was sneaking into your room every night while you stayed in my apartment. I pulled out my phone and turned to Tyler's mother, whose face had gone white as paper. Would you like to see the photos, Margaret? Pictures of your son with his hands all over his cousin? Pictures of them in your own guest bedroom during Christmas dinner while you were in the kitchen making gravy? The room erupted. People were shouting, demanding explanations. Amanda was sobbing hysterically. Tyler tried to come toward me, his face a mask of panic. Rachel, please. Let me explain. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. You've been sleeping with her since before we were married. You used me as a cover story. You brought her into my home so you could play house with your pregnant mistress while I cooked your meals and washed your sheets. And you thought I was too stupid to figure it out. Derek stepped forward. I've already filed for divorce, and I'll be demanding a paternity test. When that baby is born, the whole world will know Tyler is the father. Tyler's mother had sunk into a chair, her hand over her heart. His aunts were whispering frantically. His uncle was staring at him with undisguised disgust. You've humiliated this family, Tyler's mother finally said, her voice shaking. Both of you, how could you do this? You were raised as brother and sister. We're not blood related, Amanda wailed. It's not like it's actually incest. You might as well be. An aunt snapped. I changed both your diapers. I watched you grow up in the same house. This is disgusting. I walked toward the door, my head held high. Derek followed me. Rachel, wait. Tyler's voice was desperate now. Please. We can work this out. I'll end things with Amanda. I'll go to counseling. Whatever you want. I turned to face him one last time. What I want is to never see your face again. I want the divorce papers I had drawn up last week signed and returned to my lawyer within 30 days. I want the apartment, which my salary has been paying for since you got laid off 2 years ago. And I want you to know that every person in this room will remember this moment for the rest of their lives. Every family gathering, every holiday, every birthday. They'll look at you and remember what you did. I paused at the door. Oh, and Tyler? I found the ring. The one you bought Amanda for when you were planning to propose after our divorce was finalized. I had it appraised. Turns out it was paid for with our joint credit card. My lawyer will be adding that to the list of assets you misappropriated. Enjoy explaining that to the judge. I walked out into the bright afternoon sunshine, Derek beside me. Behind us, the sounds of chaos continued, raised voices, crying, accusations flying. The family that had welcomed me for 12 years was imploding, and the 2 people responsible were standing in the wreckage they'd created. We drove to a restaurant downtown and ordered champagne. To new beginnings, Derek said, raising his glass. To the truth, I replied. It's been 8 months since that day. The divorce was finalized last month. I got the apartment, a significant portion of our savings, and alimony for 3 years. Patricia Chen earned every penny of her fee. Tyler and Amanda tried to make their relationship work publicly after everything came out. They lasted about 4 months before the constant judgment from family and the stress of raising a newborn tore them apart. Last I heard, Tyler was living in his mother's basement, and Amanda had moved back in with her parents. Derek and I have become close friends. We understand each other in a way that only people who've survived the same betrayal can. He's started dating again, a nice woman he met at his gym. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting closer every day. The baby was born healthy. A boy. Tyler is on the birth certificate now, court-ordered to pay child support for a child he'll likely see only on weekends if Amanda is feeling generous. The irony isn't lost on anyone. Sometimes I think about what would have happened if Tyler hadn't forgotten his laptop that Friday morning. Would I have gone on believing the lie? Would I have spent months caring for their baby, oblivious to the truth? Would I have eventually figured it out, or would they have successfully maintained their charade forever? I'll never know, and honestly, I don't want to. What I do know is this. I spent 12 years with a man who saw me as a convenient cover story. A naive, trusting fool he could manipulate while he lived his real life with someone else. He and Amanda thought they were so clever, so careful, so much smarter than the people they were deceiving. They were wrong. The woman who trusted blindly died the day I read those emails. The woman who emerged from that death is stronger, smarter, and will never again accept being treated as less than she deserves. They thought they could make me a victim. Instead, they made me a warrior. And warriors don't just survive, they win.